Hi everybody, so this is day 13 I think of 25 press-ups a day for 25 days. I actually did my press-ups this morning. I just did them quickly. I managed 10 on my toes today, not 15 like yesterday, and the rest I did on my knees. I have been talking about in my past videos that I'm going, hang on, start again, rewind, blah, 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 blah. Okay, of 25 days of 25 press-ups for 25 days to raise awareness for PTSD, suicide prevention and mental health issues. Fast forward, blah, blah, blah. Right, completely lost my train of thought now. Yes, over the past few days I've been mentioning that I wanted to discuss my experience with anxiety but ironically I have been getting myself in a bit of a state about talking about it, to be fair. I think it's because it's still something that takes me by surprise, and I still struggle to understand it. I got diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder several years ago. I've been on medications for it now for possibly, I think it's 9 years, maybe a little bit longer than that. And the medication that I'm on is actually now a controlled substance, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately because it just means it's highly addictive and difficult to come off. I would say that I can't remember a time prior to becoming a Christian where I wasn't continuously worried about something. Friends and family will tell you that I always would see the worst case scenario in any, I'm just recording, that I would see the worst case scenario in any given situation ever. When I was about 8 years old, I started to have panic attacks about dying, about the fear of death and the finality of death. Not so much the how I might die, but the finality of it. And that manifested into panic attacks, which then gave me a fear about going to bed because I would fear the panic that I would feel. At the time I didn't know that it was anxiety, and I didn't know that until into my adult life actually. So a lot of people will feel anxiety at some point in their life. So this could be like a job interview or an exam or meeting new people, for example, starting a new job. Anything like that can cause a normal amount of worry, but people who suffer from anxiety have an abnormal amount of anxiety. Let's call it, I think inflated is probably, no, exaggerated feeling, overwhelming feeling of fear, worry, concern. So for me, it would always be the worst case scenario in any given situation. That was the anxiety that I was aware of. For example, if one of my kids went on a school trip, you know, my mind would give me every single different possible scenario that it could think of as to why I shouldn't put my kids on that school bus, you know, and it would keep me up all night long with worry. You know, I'd be worrying all through the day as well when they were on the school trip. And that's just one tiny example really of the anxiety that I've lived with all my life. There's also been a lot of my behaviours that are triggered by anxiety that I've only just, in my recovery and in my walk with God, that I've only realised are actual manifestations of anxiety just coming out sideways. So, you know, agitation, anger, aggression, insomnia. Well, actually insomnia I knew about, because my brain would just decide that it was going to just give me a million reasons why I shouldn't go to sleep at night, worrying about every possible little event that could happen in my future. I think agitation and aggression are the two most problematic symptoms of anxiety, and I wouldn't even know, you know, I would find myself getting really stressed out and angry, and I couldn't ever understand why I was getting angry. It was only with hindsight that I could understand that. Safi, come here. Saf. Sorry about that. Right. Oh, where was I? Anxiety. Yeah. I've forgotten where I was now because the dog's just distracted me. Oh, that's it. Aggression and anger. So there are other symptoms of anxiety. Another big part of anxiety is overthinking. You know, for example, say you've been somewhere and you've had a conversation with people, and then you come away from that conversation and you're like, oh, why did I say that? Oh, they're going to think this of me, and they're going to think that of me, and you know, and then there's this like it's like heart pounding, and you feel hot. I feel hot, and you know, and my head starts spinning, and until I've resolved that feeling, which was normally a completely unnecessary feeling, then it won't go away. When I was in rehab, they drew a line on a board, the past and the future, and then we had to put ourselves somewhere on that line. And it was only I think it was the second time of doing it that I put myself on that line, and I was bang in the middle. I was actually in the present for the first time that I could ever remember being in the present, because I've also suffered from depression, which is worrying about the past, thinking about the past. But anxiety is your head living in the future. And the thing about anxiety is it robs your now. You know, the stuff that people who suffer from anxiety worry about, the fears and the feelings and the emotions, most often never come to pass. You know, they never happen. It's just the imagination going in overdrive. And naturally, if you're so busy worrying about things that might happen, you're not paying any attention to what is actually happening. So it's quite a sad illness, really, because it does rob people of their lives and their joy, and from enjoying the present moment. I've like I said, I've been on medication. I've had therapy for it in the past. None of that has ever worked. The medication kind of took the edge off it. But the only thing for me personally that's worked is becoming a Christian, and there is a scripture that says, cast all your anxieties upon him because he loves you. And so for me now, taking my anxieties and my worries to prayer, to my God, really helps. And it grounds me, and it brings me back into the moment. It brings me peace. I know for some meditation works, and that did used to work for me as well. But the thing with meditation is I would find it would very quickly come back, and I wasn't as practiced at it. For me, having a conversation with my God is a much better way for me to work through my emotions. And so much so that has been so beneficial to me as well, and and my God is healing me so much that I'm actually tapering off my medication now. It's a long, slow process because of the type of medication that I'm on, but I'm halfway down the original dose that I was on, which is amazing. So what I'm trying to say is there is hope. There are ways of coping with anxiety. There's complete healing from it. It's out there, it's available, but this isn't about me trying to convert people into Christianity. This is about, although that would be brilliant, this is about me sharing my personal experience and giving people hope. I'm sure there's a lot more that I could say about this, and I'm wary. I think I've already been talking for possibly 10 minutes. I don't know, maybe I should do a TED talk on it one day, who knows. But before I can do that, then I need to get to grips with performance anxiety, which is what I've had. There's another thing I've got to take to God. Performance anxiety is what I've had for the past few days in building up to talking about this. It's because it's such a minefield of a subject. Anyway, I'll leave it there. I'll follow up with the video of my press ups, which I did this morning. And yeah, big respect to everybody else doing the challenges, the 25 push-ups a day challenges. You're all doing amazing. I'm not going to list you all by name now because I've blabbered on for ages and ages and ages. Thank you to everybody who's donated. Peace and love to you all. Eleven, 12, no, too tired, 13, 14, 15, no,
You lost count.
16, 17, I'm too tired today, 18, 19, 20, 21, oh dear. No. Come on, you can do it. 22. There you go. 23. 24. 25.
Four.
No.